What's up, world? You are in tune to the KnoItAllz, of course, with your main man, Big Tate. What is poppin', Tate, man? How you doing tonight, bro?
Ma, what's good, man? Why every week, man, you call me Big Tate, man? You got Big G. I ain't Big Tate, man. I'm just Tate.
Hey, you my partner, Tate. We up here with Tate, man, and of course we have a special guest, man, B Dirt, who always comments, man, but he's on with us tonight. He's excited and want to celebrate and want to talk about the Bengals. Big G will be in here just a little bit, man, but we're gonna go ahead and get this started on this playoff weekend. It was packed, man. I'm telling you, there was a lot going on this weekend. But before we get into that, we're definitely gonna get into this. And man, happy playoff weekend, man. I mean,
Hey man. I like the updated intro. I see we got LeBron and the chase down. We got Ja Morant and the two-hand pin to the glass.
two-hand
We
pin.
got from Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, we had to change it up. Got to switch it up for the new year. New year, new us, the KnoItAllz. And definitely, like I said, man, we're here. We're getting it cracking. Definitely Big G will be in a few, man. It was a great playoff weekend. Although some teams lost, other teams won. It was good football, man. And I was really happy to watch it this weekend. But I'm gonna jump right into it, man. Uh, the Bengals game, the Bengals and the Raiders game. I got a lot of friends who are Raider fans, and I was happy for them that they turned the season around, man. But I kind of knew that it was going to be over with once they ran up against the Bengals, man. How was your feeling going into this game, Peter? Talk to me, man. How did you feel going into this game?
I felt really confident about the game. What we've been doing over the past 4 or 5 weeks, just seeing the game slow down for Joe Burrow, I think has been the biggest difference in the reading the defenses and getting the ball out on time and not taking as many sacks as he was the first half of the season. I thought our linebackers being back healthy, Wilson coming back was a big one. Pratt had been playing better and better, and I knew that. And accompanied with our defensive backs, we're going to have to help out on Waller. I knew that was going to be a big thing for us. I was confident in what we had going against our wide receivers. I don't see anybody out there as dynamic anymore. When I say anymore, the one that I think could stretch the field is probably past his prime and not doing it anymore. When you talk about Deshaun Stevens, so I didn't have that as a problem. So I felt really good. I will be honest with you. Halfway through the second quarter, I started feeling a little nervous about it because even though we were controlling the game and scoring some points, when you're in the playoffs and you're kicking field goals, that's got disaster written all over it. So that'd be the one thing I'd like us to do is get those. I mean, you can't have 4 field goals and win a lot of playoff games. You need to get 3 of those in the end zone.
Right, and totally. I felt that way, and I think me and Tate both. Tate, you had picked the Bengals to win this game, and we were talking about B Dirt being the biggest Bengal fan that we knew. Man, and Tate asked this question, so I'm gonna re-ask it. How do you feel? Y'all win a playoff game. It's been what, 1992, 93? What was it?
91. Yeah. 91. They beat the Houston Oilers. That's how long it's been. How long has the Houston Oilers been gone?
Yeah. I was 14.
Wow.
Last time we won. So yeah, I went through. We were talking about Tate and I were talking about it. I went through My two favorite sports teams being Cincinnati Bengals and the Detroit Tigers, growing up halfway in between the two cities. And I went through my entire high school, college career without either team having a winning season. That entire decade of the 90s, neither team had a winning season. It was rough.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, being a Cowboy fan, I could definitely relate. There's been some lean times, but you stay faithful, man, and you're rewarded. I mean, faithful fans should be rewarded. And, you know, definitely, I think you guys have one of the most dynamic offenses still left in the playoffs, man. Tate, what you think about that win for the Bengals?
Well, first, let me say, B Dirt, man, you had the 80s, man. I mean, you had 2 Super Bowl appearances. You had the Icky Shuffle. I mean, you had the 84 Tigers with Lou Whitaker, Alan Trammell, Lance Parrish, Jack Morris. Come on, man. You had a good 80s, man.
Good 80s. You had a good 80s.
But
I was too young to appreciate it, really. But I did have a good 80s.
Right. But back to what you were saying, man. Joe Burrow, top 5 quarterback, man. Period, point blank. I mean, it's a lot of good quarterbacks. I mean, you know, and I could probably name 5 real quick that you might say, Joe Burrow better than him? I don't know. But Joe Burrow got his team in his second year. He got hurt last year. He got his team in the final 8.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's better than Tannehill. I mean, right? I would take him over Josh Allen. I mean, so in the AFC, only Mahomes is better.
Yeah.
In the NFC, he's better than Garoppolo. You got Goat over there, you got Aaron Rodgers over there, and the other quarterback is who?
Russell Wilson.
You still got the winner between Stafford and Kyler Murray. Yeah, I'm talking playoff quarterbacks. Russ. Yeah. Russ probably top 5, but Russ got to come prove it again though next year. But Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, that's going to be a duo to be reckoned with, man, for the next 7 years.
Yeah, for years, man.
You know, Burrow ended up with the highest rating in Pro Football Focus.
Did he?
At the end of the year, yeah. And did all of that while getting sacked more than any other quarterback in the league. I think the upside, you know, if we can protect him, shore up that offensive line a little bit, I think his upside is endless.
I agree. Some of the sacks, though, I think he has to take ownership on because he tries to extend plays and spin, roll out, and he still tries to make plays, and he's not at the point in the maturation process as a quarterback to where he just, you know best to just give up on the play. He still wants to make something happen.
I agree, and I think he's done more of that the second half of the season. The first half of the season, I saw some of those same plays from last year where I was holding my breath because I was afraid of him getting hurt again. But, you know, one of the other things that, you know, outside of the Cincinnati fan base and outside of, you know, that region of the country, I don't hear much on a national spotlight is, you know, looking at ownership, there's been some issues, you know, with our ownership with Mike Brown for years. You know, we went back and forth about not having the correct facilities. There's been all kinds of reports and things out there, not putting the money back in the team. And if you look over the last 2 or 3 years, they've really started investing in you know, practice facilities, spending money on free agency in the past 2 years like they never have before. So, you know, tip my hat to an ownership and a front office that I have thrown stones at for a long time. Yeah, so they seem to be turning the corner too.
We got some nice pickups. They picked up Hendrickson from the Saints, Hilton from the Steelers. They picked up wasn't this past year, but the year before, Von Bell. Yeah,
they picked up one of our defensive backs, who Cheeto
Hilton,
balling. You know what I'm saying?
Hilton from the Steelers came over free agency.
Right.
Yeah. So on to the next game, man. We had Philly and Tampa Bay, which I was really scared for Tampa Bay in this game, man. But Tampa Bay made easy work out of Philly, man. I mean, they made them look bad, really, really bad. And they sent them packing early, man. Tate, what you think about this game, man?
You know what you call that, don't you?
What's that?
You call that goat work.
He did goat work.
That's goat work, man. That's all. That's
absolutely did goat work, man.
I mean, he was down the top 2 running backs, 2 of his top 3 receivers. You know, they got some people back on defense, but the offense just controlled the game with the short passing game. They got Giovanni Bernard back, but he's the 3rd running back. I mean, so you know, Tom Brady is just surgical, man. He's surgical in his playoff performances, man. I mean, it ain't too many he the cause of the loss. You know what I mean? He don't lose too many, but even when they do, he's not the cause of the loss. Even those 2 balls Eli got him in, lucky catches, the helmet catch, you know what I mean, and everything else. The GOAT just don't lose playoff games, man.
He don't lose. He don't lose too many of them. He don't lose too many. B-Dog, what'd you think about that game, man?
You know what I thought was great on Tom Brady was watching the game. I can't remember which wide receiver it was. It was one of the young cats he hasn't had much experience with. Had an option route, ran the wrong one, and you saw him that disgusted look and turned around, and he threw 3 straight balls at Gronk. And it was hysterical to me. Like, he's like, all right, no one else is going to run my plays. Here we go. Old Faithful, here's my security blanket. 1, 2, 3 down the field, touchdown. Gronk spiking the ball in the end zone. So that I think when you look at that, he still has him. He still has Mike Evans. He's got enough pieces in there to get it done. You know, I mean, look at there were several years that he had Edelman and who, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he made it work with them. I expect him to make it work with this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And their defense came to play a little bit better than they have been too. You know,
their defense
they were rallying to the ball. They were gang tackling. That was a big difference too. And they've gotten healthy at the right time on that side of the ball. They've got they've got defensive backs back. They got linebacker back. So, you know, Shaq Barrett making a pick and trying to run the ball back like he was Tyreek Hill was hilarious.
Yeah. But man, I'm gonna tell you the surprise game to me in the playoffs, I knew the Bills were gonna win it. You know, I knew the Bills were gonna win that game, but they just totally annihilated the evil empire. I mean, they totally whooped the fire and the sand out of the evil empire. I could not imagine the Bills taking, I mean, I couldn't imagine the Patriots taking that type of a loss, man. And they just took, I mean, they got dominated on a seven consecutive plays. Buffalo scored a touchdown. That is just, what do you do with that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
The first 7 drives. I never seen Belichick picked on like that, man. Not picked on, but allow that to happen. His defense never, not even back to his days with the Giants and, you know what I mean, coaching the Browns when he was the Giants defensive coordinator and stuff. I've never seen his defense get annihilated like that.
They just got manhandled. And what's up, Big G? Big G, what did you think about that New England Buffalo Bills game, man? Talk to me about how you felt about that.
Bill Belichick is going to fire everybody on the defensive side of the ball. All the coaches, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. The defensive coaches, it's a wrap. However, the thing about Belichick is it's been plug and play forever. What he's going to do really is look at the draft and look at free agents. I looked up a stat the other day. They're in the top 7 of NFL teams with dollars to be able to spend in all season. Belichick's going to go get some guys that can do what he needs to do.
They spent the most money last year.
Yeah, they got the money this year because they got so many guys coming off the books. They got a lot of guys coming off the books.
Hey,
they spent money offensively last year.
Big G, man, you got a Hollywood barber, man.
A Hollywood barber. Why you say that?
Your beard look crispy, like you got the same barber as Tyler Perry, man.
The last person to cut my hair was Leandre Johnson the day I got married. I've been cutting my own hair for 24 years.
Wow.
Nobody
cuts
my
hair. You've been married 24 years?
24 years. Leandre Johnson in your basement the day I got married was the last person to cut my hair.
Hey, I remember your wedding, man. You had a dope best man. I can't remember who it was though.
Some guy sitting to my right.
Listen, man. Well, we reminiscing. We talking football, man. Listen, B-Dirt. How did you think that Bills game was going to end up, man? Did you see that kind of a whooping coming on?
Absolutely not. I thought it was going to be an extremely close game. I mean, they took them out to the woodshed. There's no other way to put it. They just absolutely beat them up. And when they could get pressure up, the middle was the only place they were really getting it, or from the weak side. And Josh Allen was able to escape it every time and make big plays with his feet and his arm. I will say this, though. I would like to address something. Big G, I mean, I know the Patriots have all that money now, but now that Tom's gone and it doesn't look like there's much fun and some guys are coming in there, is it as attractive to go to New England now?
It depends. It depends. It depends. Well, let me say this. If you notice the teams that are left successfully playing right now, the formula is all the same. You solve the quarterback position and then you build around it. So the issue is, will players be sold on being able to play with Matt Jones? You know, Matt Jones hasn't proven anything, unlike with Tom Brady. But the formula is you got to get the quarterback first, and then once you get the QB, you build around him. So that's going to be the issue. You know, if you're young and up and coming, do you get enough free agents? Do you get enough? You got the money, but do you attract? Well, let me say this too. They've also they proved that they could get Hunter Henry. They could get that Smith guy that plays tight end. What they need is a big play WR that can stretch the field. They got it. That's what they got.
You don't think Kendrick Bourne is that? You don't think Kendrick Bourne is that?
No. Kendrick Bourne is a best a 2. Possibly a 3 WR.
They might trade for Amari.
Yeah.
For 10 or 15 years, though, they've been having a whole bunch of really good pieces come there on discounts.
Yeah.
Like those boys are done.
But that was the Brady. That was like how you said, that was the Brady effect. The Brady effect was dude would take a cut because they know they was going to get ring. Now you got to get a guy. You got to pay guys now until you get enough, depending on what they do in the draft, to build up around Jones. But the formula in the NFL, you got to solve that QB first. Once you solve the QB, then you build. You can't do it any other way.
Mac Jones ain't the answer?
I don't know.
They ain't going away from him.
I think Mac Jones is the answer. I think Mac Jones, to be really honest with you, Mac Jones plays serviceable. And that's what you're supposed to do in that offense, right? You're supposed to be that way. I think, you know, they're gonna have they've done what they've done with running back by committee, so they don't need a running back. I think you're absolutely right. But the thing that they're gonna have to shore up is the thing that the Cowboys and the Steelers got to do, and that's that defensive line. Man, I'm gonna tell you, when you start letting Josh Allen get around the corner and run 75 yards on you, it's curtains.
Josh Allen ran 75 yards on a whole bunch of teams in the NFL.
Josh Allen might do that against anybody.
Yeah,
Josh Allen is a special
Josh
talent.
Allen's good, but what I'm saying is your quarterback shouldn't be doing that.
He did it to everybody in the league. He did it to everybody in the league.
He did it to everybody except the good teams. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't doing that to y'all. He wasn't getting around the corner and doing that. I mean, the inside running game needs to be addressed for the New England Patriots. It needs to be addressed.
I think the Patriots, all the Patriots need is a W. They're like a few teams in the league. They need a WR1. They need a guy that will take the top off the defense and make everything else go. If there's 4 or 5 good teams or decent teams in the league right now. If they get a WR1, a legit one, they're gonna change the way they play.
Let me ask you this: Devontae Adams is a free agent.
Yeah,
but I think you got to tie some of Devontae Adams' success over his career to playing with Aaron Rodgers. Would you agree?
Yeah, but I think he's a WR1. I wouldn't be shocked if Rodgers and Devontae Adams end up together somewhere. And I got a sneaky suspicion it could be down there in the Bayou in New Orleans with Sean Payton. I got a sneaky suspicion that's what's going to go down. They're going to be down in New Orleans or Aaron Rodgers along with Devontae Adams.
I don't think Green Bay gonna trade him into an NFC team personally.
I thought he was an agent.
He's got one more.
Anyway,
right? He got one more year. Okay, yeah. Well, no trade then. But Devontae's a top 5 wide receiver. Look, let me say this too. The way that the rules have changed in the NFL now, not only do they protect the quarterback, they protect the wide receivers. And if you have, case in point, B-Dirt, your squad, the Bengals, look what Jamar Chase did to that franchise. Now, T. Higgins is a dog. Tyler Boyd is a dog. 87 to tight end is legit. Joe Burrow's a dog. But Jamar Chase changed everything because he's a legit wide receiver 1. He's legit wide receiver 1.
Yeah,
and the WR1 changes.
Hit him with a 12-yard in, and next thing you know, he's standing 60 yards away in the end zone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. The rules favor now wide receivers that can take the top off the defense, and or like you said, you give them a 12 or 13-yard in route and they can house it. You know, that has changed. The Minnesota Vikings, all they got to do is make 1 or 2 changes. They got a WR1 and Jefferson. You go across the board and look at teams that are right there close. If they got a legit WR1 and they solved it at quarterback, they're going to cause problems. So, you know, that's just me. And my Steelers don't have, since we talking about WR1, Pittsburgh don't have a WR1. That's the problem. They don't have, Roethlisberger's the problem, the O-line is the problem, but Claypool and Deontay Johnson are not ones. They may be 2s, maybe 3s, but they're not a 1. They're not a 1 receiver. Not legit.
So let's talk about this, man. You know, let's talk about the Cowboys versus the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
A really exciting game. I thought, you know, it went according to script for the 49ers. I mean, they took the ball, they held the ball a lot of that first half. They lost that momentum going into the second half. I just really feel like there's 3 things that I want to point out in this game. Coaching. You know, coaching is one of those things where, you know, I don't put this all on Mike McCarthy, right? I blame Kellen more than I do Mike McCarthy. Kellen Moore did not call a great game. He didn't. You know, Zeke even said it in the post pregame. And I mean, I hate to hear these kind of things, but you know, I mean, we all knew he was playing, but he was like, yo, he been with a partially torn ACL. He played all year. Why, when you got a back like Tony Pollard? Like, I don't understand it. You know, you have Tony Pollard, give Tony Pollard those carries. On top of that, now, in being an advocate for Zeke did keep people off of Bosa before he got hurt. He kept people off of Dak, like Bosa, and a couple of times he kept him off of Dak so that Dak could throw the ball. But I think, you know, Kellen Moore called a horrible game. The 49ers were a hard draw. And me and B-Dirt were kind of talking about that when he came in. They were a hard draw. They hot, and they're going to stay hot. You know, it's going to be a real hard out unless they don't get Bosa back. You know, if they don't get Bosa back, you know, I could be a little rough for him on that defensive side of the ball because Aaron Rodgers is going to go down and look for the kill shot every time that he possibly can. But, you know, hard loss. Walk across the field. I got some San Francisco fans that I called. I didn't talk to haters. I won't talk to haters, but I got some San Francisco fans that I called after the game and said, hey, man, good game. You know, it is what it is. It's a playoff.
Hey, Mod, is Deebo Samuel a WR1?
You know, he is. He's a wide receiver 1. I mean, he's a man child. He's a man child. But
he might be a running back 1.
Yeah. But here's the thing, though. In we've all seen that Shanahan system make people look really good.
Hey, Mod.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, you called it last week. Jimmy Garoppolo gave y'all the ball back, which made it a game. But outside of that, Dallas was going to be one and done against anybody they drew except Philadelphia because they're in the NFC East. I don't see Dallas matching up with no team that was in the playoffs. I don't think they was going to win. San Francisco included, obviously. Arizona would have got them. I think the Rams would get them. Tampa Bay and Green Bay. They beat the Eagles.
We played Tampa Bay a lot tougher than we played, this San Francisco team. I mean, we lost by a field goal and a couple of field goals that were missed.
That was the first game of the season, and they all count. But the things have evolved and changed since then. I mean, I think Dallas is what they was. They lost. They didn't beat a good team all year, except New England. They lost to.
I disagree, man. I mean, we beat the Chargers.
Chargers not a playoff team, not a good team.
It doesn't matter. That was a good football team. They were right there at the end to play to get in and lost. That was a good, just like y'all. Y'all ain't a bad football. Y'all were a good football team.
No, we stunk. We did good getting in.
Yeah. So good football team. Y'all played and y'all got in. But once again, somebody got to win. Somebody got to lose. We were on a tough end of that loss, man. But what'd you think about that loss, Big G? Talk to me, man.
Well, first of all, let me say this. The Dallas Cowboys ran the ball 16 times. The San Francisco 49ers ran the ball 37 times. Right? That's the game. I mean, I don't care who did what.
But Big G, you got to give San Francisco credit for making them one-dimensional and stopping the run. I told y'all that last week. Dallas wasn't going to rush for no 100 yards.
Correct. But what I'm saying is that good teams play to their strength when the money's on the line. When the money's on the line, a good team is going to play to what they do, right?
Right.
The San Francisco 49ers did everything to not let Jimmy Garoppolo beat them, right? Jimmy G almost beat him, right?
Almost
but
did.
they lined up and ran the ball 37 times, right? And it wasn't like they got 37 times for no 50, 60 yards. They almost got 200-something yards rushing. Elijah Mitchell had 27 carries for 96 yards and a touch. Debo had 10 carries for 72 and a touch. I mean, they lined up and physically pounded the rock at what the Cowboys considered was their strength. The Cowboys' strength supposedly was their defensive line. San Francisco said, "Oh yeah, you want to bet? I'm gonna show you that ain't
pass rushing.
Pass rush."
Right,
Pass rush.
but they showed you that wasn't their strength. What they showed you was we're gonna line up.
The pass rush was their strength. It was never the run. We all knew it was never the run defense. Which is one of the things that we definitely got to address in free agency and the draft. B-Dirt, man, what'd you think about this game? Talk to us what you think.
You touched on it. I think San Francisco was playing good coming in. And I agree with Tate. I don't get to say that very often, but I mean, they are who we thought they were. I don't know. I mean, what quotes do you want me to use? I really thought that they were going to come in and one and done. I agree. Now, I will say this. The one other thing, I said the same thing about the Bengals before you got on, Big G. When it was 16-7, San Francisco was up. First thing that snuck into my head, you don't beat playoff teams kicking field goals.
That's right.
You can't kick 3, 4, 5 field goals in a game and win many of these games.
That's right.
They do that in the next round, San Francisco's out.
Yeah. Well, they got Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers gonna put the pressure on him, man.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Rodgers gonna put the pressure on him, man. Rodgers gonna go down and get his.
Hey man, San Francisco and Green Bay had some good playoff matchups about the past 3 of the last 4 years. Some good playoff matchups. So I'm not counting. I think San Francisco is best equipped of all the teams left to go to Lambeau, style of play, personality and stuff like that. To not saying they're gonna beat Green Bay, but they built that type of game.
Because they're gonna run 37 times. They're gonna run it. And you running that ball.
You literally forget that they won on a walk-off field goal. Green Bay won on a walk-off field goal early in the year. So
that Aaron Rodgers came back with like 50 seconds left.
Yeah. So it's not going to be just some, walkout game and, walk in the park. So that's a good football team, man. And then lastly tonight, man, we had the Steelers versus Kansas City. And, honestly, I gave the Steelers a puncher's chance. I thought, man, if they could get in this game, keep it low scoring, they would be all right, man. And it looked like it was going that way. I mean, with the turnover quick, the first score, and then it just kind of changed. Patrick Mahomes took over the game, and it was what me and Tate had said earlier, man. They were doing a good job at stifling number 87, Kelsey. They were holding Kelsey for real in the very beginning, but they started letting Kelsey get loose, and man, that was it. So talk to me, Tate. What'd you think about the game, man?
Man, the Steelers played an excellent first quarter and first half of the second quarter. I mean, things were going our way. Then, they got hit with a couple screen passes to McKinnon. They caught the defense being over aggressive. And, they slipped that screen pass in there like 3 or 4 different times tonight. And then, like you said, I mean, Tyreek Hill wasn't doing nothing too much, but we shutting Kels down early, then he got loose. I mean, like that middle part of the second quarter, Kansas City went from being 7-zip Pittsburgh with like 8 minutes left in the second to at halftime it was 21-7. And at that point, I kind of knew it was going to be rough. I said it was over then pretty much because our offense couldn't generate any points. We all year long, the inability of the offense. I don't want to blame Ben. The line has not been cohesive. Hasn't been a cohesive unit. But and then Ben, I don't know if it's his inability to throw the ball down the field or if it's the line not giving him the necessary time. But I disagree with Big G. I think from what he said a few minutes ago, I think Deontay Johnson is a number one. And he had a few drops the last 2 or 3 games, but he put up number one numbers. Chase Claypool, a nice piece. I think we get Juju back next year now on the cheap. And if James Washington stay, I think we got with Ray McLeod, we got 5 very, very good receivers. Maybe not a top 5 receiving unit, but a top 10 receiving unit. Because Pat Fryer moved through the rookie tight end. He gonna be a top 5 tight end. He gonna be a beast. So we need first often Najee Harris is gonna play a lot better in his second year, and then with an upgrade to some kind of upgrade to the offensive line. I don't know who's going to be quarterback yet, but we're going to have a defense next year that's going to be able to compete. If we can get a competent offense, I don't know if that means fire Matt Canada, offensive coordinator after 1 year, or was he just trying to mix in the offense that was his offense along with things that Ben liked. And if we can get a quarterback that got some legs, maybe he can expand his offense. I don't know. We'll see. But Pittsburgh had a bad year, but they did measure up to the standard just by making the playoffs. So I was proud to see them do that. I was hoping they could pull the upset tonight, but it wasn't to be.
Yeah, I think, I would agree with a lot of your points. And talk to me, Big G, man. Talk to me about the game. How'd you feel?
I mean, I thought we had a puncher's chance. Everybody knows that. I said we had to have splash plays. Tate said we had that splash plays. We definitely, in that first quarter and a half, had some extreme splash plays. But it just continues to go to show that, I mean, we're offensively, I don't agree with most Steeler fans. I don't think we have a wide receiver one. I think this is priority. Top 3 priorities for us is offensive line. We got to fix it. We have to get middle linebackers that can play and tackle in space. And we have to develop a guy that's going to catch the ball when he's get the ball thrown to him.
Big G, so you don't see the need for a defensive lineman. I think after a year in the offseason, I think Devin Bush will be back personally. Yeah. But I think the necessity for a run stuffer in the middle is more important than the middle linebacker now.
We had a couple of injuries. We had that one guy that I can't always forget his name. Defensive tackle is very good. I think, very good.
He's 34 years old. He probably done.
Well, I don't know. I just think that the issue is in the NFL, you have to be able to match blow for blow, regardless of what your offensive style is, regardless of if you're going to run like the 49ers or if you're going to be like an eccentric offense like how the Bengals are building. You have to be able to match blow for blow for whatever your style is. And I think the Steelers are at a crossroads. And Tate, you might be right. Canada might not be the answer. We have to develop, okay, this is who we are. This is our identity. And this is what we're going to do to beat you. So I don't think that Pittsburgh has that right now. I don't know if Claypool. I don't get it. For as big of a body and as fast as he is, if I'm an offensive mind, I put the dude in the slot and let him just run in routes. He's going to catch it every single time. But every time I see him, he's going on a fly go route, trying to come back, and then he falls on the ground and lays there like he's hurt. So I mean, that's number one. Every time I look up at Deontay Johnson, he makes some of the greatest catches you can think of, but then he misses the ones that we need that's going to extend drives and extend plays. Why Pittsburgh started losing in the middle of that second quarter is if you go back and look at the amount of plays that our offense was on the field versus what our defense was on the field, it was just a matter of time before Mahomes figured us out. So the issue was, okay, we made 2 huge splash plays in the first quarter and a half, but offensively, you got to give us something. So like you said, I don't know if that's Ben's issue, the OC's issue, the offensive line's issue. We got to fix that stuff. But like I said, priority, linebacker, offensive line. I think we need we need another middle linebacker to go beside Bush. We need an offensive line overhaul. And I think we got to get a WR1. Somebody's got to develop. If we don't get one, we got to go. If we don't have one, we got to go get one. That's just me.
So B-Dirt, man, talk to me, man. How did you feel about that game? How did you feel about that Steelers-Chiefs game?
You know, we were all on the same page. We all knew they had to have those splash plays. I said they needed to score on defense and or score on special teams. When they got one early, I thought they had that puncher's chance. And then when I saw them, you know, those first couple drives, there was miscommunication with Deontay Johnson. Then there was the third down play. There was miscommunication with Freiermuth, and Ben's yelling at Freiermuth going to the sideline. That can't happen in week 18.
Right.
In week 18, you got to be able to pick up 3 yards on an out right there. He was wide open if he cuts out.
Right.
So those, once I saw those, you know, I'm like, hey, you got to make those against the Chiefs. You can't just keep giving him possessions because Mahomes is going to make you pay. You got to be able to get those third down conversions, get down the field. Even if you don't get in the end zone every time or whatever, take 7-9 minutes off the clock. You got to limit his possessions and get a couple of splash plays. When they weren't doing that, it's kind of the writing on the wall. It was, you know, being a Bengals fan, I also grew up in Lima with you guys, but now I live in Pittsburgh. And I was talking about it before we came on air. Like, you know, I've heard a lot of people giving Big Ben a hard time over the past 3-4 years, but everybody gave him his flowers this year. You know, there was a lot of thank yous for everything you've done, the great career, and you know, same. I'm glad to see him go. I'm tired of him beating up on my guys.
Yeah.
So, great career. Had to come to an end. I'm glad they got him into playoffs. I'm glad it all worked out for him, but I think it went the way everybody thought it was going to go.
Yeah.
Hey, B-Dirt, I got a question to ask you, man. If you had to rank the AFC teams right now today in order, what would you go? What would be your order? With knowing what's going to happen in the offseason, what would be your order?
Right now for the rest of this year, objectively.
Going into next year, you said, right?
Yeah, going into next year.
Going into next year.
Yeah, going into next year.
I would have to do a little research on you know, who signed up, but I would just gut reaction. I would go Chiefs 1, Buffalo 2, Cincinnati 3.
I agree. I just wanted to see I would go to Chargers 4. I would go to Chargers 4. That's just me, 1 through 4.
Yeah.
So do the Browns and Ravens rebound next year?
I think the Ravens do. I don't think the Browns do.
So why not? Do you think it's Baker Mayfield that is holding the Browns back? Well, first of all, before we even get in that discussion, let's talk about Tate and the new puppy he got. Tate, what's his name?
Harlem.
Harley.
Harlem.
Yeah.
Harlow. Okay.
Harlem.
Harlem,
New York.
Harlem. All right.
Yeah.
So what type of dog is it?
He's a French bulldog, man. I've been want one. My wife been want one ever since she fell in love with Brandon. Brandon came stayed a weekend and a few days at my house. Brought his dog Bane, and we wanted one ever since then. You know, I had a dog just pass away. We had to put him to sleep just about about Thursday.
Yeah.
And we went out and got this guy yesterday, man. So, you know, I had to avoid the energy in my house, man, from my loss of my dog. But
look at that big old one right there. That's a gigantic one.
That's Bane. That's a big boy right there.
Yeah, that's humongous. He's humongous. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So you know, we dog lovers around here, man. So
yeah,
had to go get him, man. He's been a fun pup for the past 36 hours, full of energy.
Yeah.
So I heard him scratching at the door right here, so I opened the door and let him in.
Yeah.
Man, that's good. I'm glad you were able to. It's not a replacement, but I'm glad you were able to get one, man. But well, previewing this game for tomorrow night, man. Before we get off of here, man, tomorrow night's game is a big one. We got the Rams versus the Cardinals, and I do have to say, I love this setup, the way that we have it. I love it, man. I love it. You got football all weekend. It felt like a regular football weekend, but it was more excitement to it because it was win or go home. But who y'all got, man? Who y'all got? Tate, I need to know who you got. We already said who we had, last night, but let's remind, we said it's Friday night, but let's remind everybody who we picked for the Rams and the Cardinals.
I got the Rams, man. And after they beat the Cardinals tomorrow, I got them going into Tampa Bay and taking down the GOAT.
Me too. Who did you have, G?
I told y'all I've been riding with the Cardinals since the offseason, man. And now Watt is active. Oh, he's going to cause problems tomorrow night, man. I'm trying to tell you, Matt Stafford's going for a long game.
Who better, J.J. Watt or Aaron Donald?
Oh, they're two different positions. That's not fair to compare. That's two different.
They both defensive tackles.
No, J.J. Watt's a DN, outside linebacker. He was the prototype for what we have in Pittsburgh. J.J. Watt was the first.
He might play DN in a 4-3. He ain't no outside linebacker though.
Well, I didn't see him get interceptions, catching, dropping coverage. I didn't see all of that.
He played DN, and they move him to two tackles sometime too.
Yeah, he moved around defensive line.
But he athletically, I mean, at this age, probably Aaron Donald is still because he's a specimen. But an overall career, like I said, I mean, TJ Watt is got a lot to live up to, and he's done it so far because his brother was probably the most outstanding defensive player that's been in the NFL the last 10 years. I mean, this guy was a 2-time or 3-time defensive MVP.
Three times.
Yeah.
I think Aaron Donald got 2 for sure, maybe 3.
Not sure. J.J. Watt is a bad man. I'm hoping
those 2 arguably, and J.J. Watt because he got 3 in like a 4-year period, but Aaron Donald's a beast too.
Man, I would love for JJ just to take a discount and come play with his brothers for 1 or 2 years in Pittsburgh. Man, I would love to see that, but that's just me.
That would be nice. But
so let's ask our guest tonight, man. B-Dirt, talk to me, man. Who you got tomorrow?
Well, as a guest Bengal here on the show, I can't agree with the 2 Steelers, right? I'm gonna have to go ahead and say I'm taking the Rams.
The Rams?
I'm gonna take the Rams. I
took the Rams.
He took the Rams.
Oh, you took the Rams? I thought you both took the Cardinals.
No, I'm a Cardinal.
All right, well then I gotta go with one of you. I'm going with Tate. And I tell you what else I think it's going to be. And I think this might be a little bit of wishful thinking to go out to end the week here on Monday Night Football. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be a 42-35 game.
Wow.
Hey, so let me ask this question. Who would you rather have the ball last, Stafford or Kyler Murray?
Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp's a bad boy. He's a bad boy.
I'm going to let him. I think that's pretty even. I think that call is pretty even. So I think I give with D-Hop out, I give that to Cooper Kupp.
I would say the difference is Stafford got his number one record-setting receiver, and Kyler Murray is missing D-Hop.
Yep.
It gets closer if D-Hop was playing.
Absolutely.
I think I agree. And y'all know I already went with the Rams to win tomorrow. And I second down and I double down on that. I think the Rams will go into go into Tampa Bay and pop them too. Now, so I it's one of them things where the playoffs is wide open. But we will see you guys again.
Hey, Ma, wait. Where we at on the picks from Friday?
You and I are 3-1 because we hold on. Let's put the graphic up.
It's been 5 games.
All right, so we haven't. The Cardinals is missing. So I missed on the Cowboys, but I picked the Cowboys. I picked Tampa Bay, so that's 1. I picked the Chiefs, that's 2. I picked Buffalo, that's 3, and I picked the Bengals, that's 4. So I'm 4-1. Tate, you are 4-1 because you missed on only one game.
I picked the Patriots, the loser.
You picked, yep. So you actually missed on that. So you're 4-1. And G, you
I'm 3-2.
You went with the Cowboys.
Yep, and I went with the Steelers. I picked everybody else.
You went with the Steelers. You went with the Bills. Did you go with the Raiders?
No, I went with business. I picked the Cincinnati Bengals to go to the AFC Championship game. Get up out of here.
So we're all.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna go back and look at the tape. I think I was solo with them Bengals. But I'm gonna go back and look at the tape.
I would say this.
I wasn't picking the Raiders.
I think I was solo with them Bengals, man. I think
everybody took the Bengals.
No.
Everybody took the Bengals. And I'll tell you this, as a Bengals fan, I'm happy the way it all played out. I'd rather go play the Titans than go play in Buffalo any day of the week.
I think they're gonna punish Tennessee. I mean, it just really what it depends on is what they sustain as far as defensive line injuries. If their defensive line is able to play, they're going to give Tennessee problems, major problems, because Tennessee don't have the defense to stop them.
No, not at all.
Matter of fact, there's no team in the AFC that's got a defense to stop them. All that's left is I hope they're going to get in a shootout with them Chiefs in the championship game. We're going to see. That's what I'm hoping for.
The Bengals got a good draw going to Tennessee out the teams that's left.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah,
I just don't. I think that we're done seeing the team that would just waltz out and after having a big win would just waltz out in New York and just give it to the Jets. Here you go. I think now there's a little more sense of urgency. They seem to be playing with a little more sharpness. And Burrow seems to be just laser focused.
Dirk, you might not want me, but I'm rooting for the Bengals the rest of the way, man. I mean, because I always root for the division.
There's room right here. I got a seat right here.
No, I'm not jumping on the bandwagon. I'm saying I'm rooting for y'all the rest of the year.
I appreciate it.
If I have my Super Bowl pick, I want to see the Bengals versus the Rams.
Yeah, I think we're going to see I think we're definitely going to see the Chiefs versus somebody. I can't. It's too close. The NFC is way too close to call, but I do think the NFC wins the Super Bowl. But it's just way too close to call. Way too close to call. But man, do we have any parting shots before we get ready to get out of here?
I got something to say, man. I want to just give it up, man, because we all on football. But I want to give it up to my Cleveland Cavaliers, man, who went 5-1 on a 6-game West Coast road trip. So they've been playing some good ball lately, man. And Darius Garland is next up, man. That boy should be an all-star this year. And in the next 2 years, he gonna be a top 5 point guard in the NBA.
Wow. G, you got any parting shots?
Well, so we've been on football so tough the last few weeks, like Tate is talking about. I actually sat down over the weekend a little bit and watched some NBA basketball. I'm here to tell y'all, Ja Morant is a bad man. Ja Morant is a bad man.
You didn't see the new intro with Ja in there, did you?
Nah, but he's a bad man.
That
young fella could be playing itself into that MVP. That's a bad man.
Look at what RJ Barrett's doing and rewind to that draft again.
Yeah. Definitely.
They both well, Zion had a good year last year, but I mean, if we talk about
everybody's fear is coming true, though.
Yeah, if we talk about on court time, you redraft that. You got to take Ja, then probably RJ Barrett second.
Yeah, man. So B Dirt, we thank you for actually coming and hanging out with us. You got any parting shots?
Just thank you guys for having me. I know it was really exciting for the Bengals. It's been really exciting for me to finally win one again since the last time I was just turning into a teenager. So that was nice. Yeah. It's been a long time coming. And the last decade spent in Pittsburgh, it's been especially hard to take my lumps. And Tate can attest to this. I wear my stripes everywhere.
You do. We've been to a game together in Heinz Field. You were repping.
Remember, I had I was at the last time we were in the playoffs with the perfect ending game when we snatched a loss out of the jaws of victory. I was at that game. Side note, it's probably the ugliest I've ever seen fans act towards each other in my life. Bengals fans towards Steelers fans and vice versa. It was gross. But being at that game and kind of feeling that pain, and now coming back the following year, we played you guys in the second week of the year. It was your home opener.
Yeah.
And I went down to DC for the Washington football team for their home opener and went to the Steelers game. They opened against the Steelers with Tate. Then Tate came up to Pittsburgh the following weekend, and we went to the home opener. And it was sunny. It was like 70 degrees out. Remember, I had that black shirt that said "Free Perfect" on it. I had my buddy.
No, but that last game we went to, man, it was pouring down rain.
We went to the second one. That was the second.
Okay.
The first one.
That Steeler football team game was a nice Monday night. That's the night. Yeah. That's the night I met Roger Goodell.
Yeah. So I had a shirt that said "Free Perfect" in Pittsburgh at the Bengals Steelers game. I had so many people stop me to take pictures with me. It was hilarious. Most of the Steelers fans were not giving me the number one, if you know what I mean. It was one finger, but it wasn't that one.
Hey, Ma, I got one more thing. Be dirt to you, man. You got your Bengals and Michigan beat Ohio State this year, man. How about that? It's your year. But Ma, one thing I heard, what y'all think about this real quick. They say that Deshaun Watson and Brian Flores want to go to New York Giants as a package deal.
Ooh. Hey, if Deshaun Watson goes to New York and they don't have to give up Saquon, the tight end, or the number one wide receiver that they got, Dallas is in trouble.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this: the NFC East is gonna be rough next year anyway. Philadelphia has 3 draft picks. I mean, how do you mess that up? 3 in the
top 19. They have 3 in the top 19.
How do you mess that up?
They pick 15, 16, and 19.
But if just answering real quick before we go, you guys, man, if that happens, that NFC East is going to be the roughest division in football. Listen, with Saquon and Deshaun, man, oh my God, if Saquon stays healthy, that's curtains. That's curtains.
And Brian Flores is a great coach.
Yeah,
sure is.
Excellent coach. But hey, man, I'd like to thank everybody for hanging out with us. Definitely, if you like the content that you heard, make sure that you like and subscribe on Facebook, on also YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, and definitely when we go live, you'll be there to catch it with us, man. And we are signing off for your player partners. To know it all, we will talk to you next week. Peace.